Go, Tasha. Welcome back, Tasha.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
You looking all like you've been on vacation.
Yes, bronzed.
I was talking about your hair, but yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, I still got my vacation hair.
Yeah. Well,
People
you
at
look
work, the people at work are funny. They're like, oh my God, I love your hair. Man, that's wild. Is it? Is it wild?
Is it wild? Is it wild in 2022? Is wild in 2022?
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. I hope you had a good vacation in the islands, and we're glad to have you back. And tonight we are going to get into, are you afraid to ask for more?
Never.
Really?
Nope. You have not because you ask not, right?
Well, yeah. But are you, well, I think that's very true. Um, and so part of this reason this conversation comes up is because um women are often taught not to ask for more, right? We're often taught just to be comfortable, just to be happy that we're there, that we're in the room. And it's why men make more money than we do, right? I mean, that's part of the reason, right? I mean, there's a whole patriarchal society, but whatever. But that's part of the reason is because they're just not afraid to ask for whatever they want. And we are kind of taught just to get into a place, be happy to be there,
Right.
not to make any moves. It's safe. And we're especially have a difficult time asking for more in times of uncertainty. Right? And so who's in here tonight? Oh, hey, Gangsta E. Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I do feel like I've always been taught and positioned to what's the worst they can say is no. I ruffle feathers. I do.
You do. You
I do.
do. Well, I can't say that I always do. And I don't always know how to negotiate. No, I don't necessarily know how to always best negotiate.
Right.
Sometimes I know what I want, and I often find it's just, and I don't know that it's the best thing, you just to go ahead and get it for myself.
Now, I do think that there might be times and opportunities that have presented themselves that maybe I've missed for negotiation because I'm with you. We have a girlfriend who is like the master negotiator,
Yes.
right? And I
Yes.
think about her all the time. I'm like, man, that's like so awesome that she could do that, right? And that's just the way her mind works.
Yes.
But when I think about are you afraid to ask for more, it makes me think about, well, there's a time where I thought that I wanted to ask, but I didn't. And so I feel like whenever there's been a time where I want to ask, that yeah, I have. But maybe there have been times where I should have asked, but it just didn't come to my mind. You know what I mean?
Well, and so, yeah, I do know what you mean. And then sometimes we're afraid to ask for more because there's the fear of the no and what that means. And so tonight we're going to talk about this. And actually, there's an author by the name of Alexandra Carter. She had a great podcast with Marie Forleo, who we apparently are fans of, right? She's a Columbia law professor and she's a negotiation expert. And she's got a new book out called Ask for More. All right. And so she's got 12 tips in the book. We're not doing that because this is her book, but we'll go over 4 of them, right? And so the first one that she talks about is that negotiation is simply a conversation.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't have to be adversarial.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be demanding. It doesn't have to be negative. It's simply a conversation. Is that how you approach it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a great example. At work we get reviews, right?
Yeah.
I work at a sales-based organization, so there's commission and there's also performance. And I got a review one year and I didn't agree with it. And there's that option, right? You don't have to just sign it and be like, okay. I said, no, I'd like to have a conversation about this, right?
Yes.
I can't get dinged on my paycheck and my performance, right? Because the way sales work. So let's just have a conversation about it, and
Yes.
can you write more about my performance, since the sales part of it is based on my customer, right? Like that seems unfair.
Right.
Um, and we went back and forth on it. It was a conversation, and for me, I'm negotiating a file that's following me.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I think, and you did an excellent job at that. And so one of the things that this author says, Alexander Carter, is that there's always someone steering the conversation. And if you want to be in control of your future, you had better be the one steering the conversation, because some people just say, "Oh, well, I won't say anything. Well, just understand you've given the reins over to someone else
right.
to steer your future." But there's no such thing as, "I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to stand still and hope it gets better." I mean, you can. There is such a thing of that,
I
right?
was gonna say, wait a
No, no,
minute.
no. I'm correcting myself. There is such a thing of that, but
Yeah,
you're still in negotiation.
correct.
And what you have done is given up leverage in your negotiation, and you've given the reins to someone else to negotiate your future.
Who could be God possibly, right? In the whole stand still moment that
Wait, did you just bring it to God? Like what?
just saying that's just
What?
where my mind went. That's all.
What in the world? What?
This is where my mind
Like
went.
we're negotiating with
No,
God? Who negotiates with God? That's really
no,
not a negotiation.
no, forget it.
Okay, because I don't know where you went. All right. You're on vacation. Okay. And just for the record, God does not negotiate with us. Okay. There you go. All right. So tip number 2. All right. Can I get it up here? Forget about the why. And we've talked about this. So when we are kind of in conversations and we're not necessarily hearing what we want, sometimes we say, well, why? Well, why this and why that? And that immediately puts everyone on the defensive.
Hmm.
No matter who you are, it puts you on the defensive. And so, what this author also talks about is that it also limits you from getting all the information. Because once I put you on the defensive, you're not looking to share much. You're just in a defense mode. You're fortifying your position, and you feel, I guess, offended. Therefore, you're on defense, and so you're not going to share very much information.
So you do a really good job, master communicator, of getting to the information around the why, but using different language, right?
Yeah,
So I get it, and you could probably give a better example than I could because I am a why person.
I know.
Well, why?
Yes,
It's such a simple question that you can get so
simple, and this is where we go.
much.
Simple and efficient is not always the best,
You're
right?
absolutely right. I'm a work in progress, and I thank you for being my master communications coach.
So another thing that you could say is, "Tell me more."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right.
Tell me more,
Mhm,
right? Because then you're inviting the person that, hey, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
mhm.
And meanwhile, again, if you are in an asking for more situation, you're getting all the information that you need to help get to a common ground that's mutually beneficial for both people. Now, this again can be used in business or personal, because everything in life is a negotiation.
Mhm.
Outside of the example Tasha just gave about with God, you are not.
Come back to that and tell you where my mind went with it, but that's okay. We don't have to go back again.
Okay. I might go back one more time though. I do. I might. All right.
Whatever makes you happy this evening.
All right. So it's about the tell me more. That's very, very helpful. And then you can see where that will just lead the conversation. I mean, you can just imagine
Yeah.
if someone is talking to you, and she says also, it's about having the open questions, right? And so consider negotiation is, maybe 1,000 pieces, right? And if I said to you, uh, hey, did you have a good day today? Right? That's really a closed question. You're either going to say yes or no.
Right.
But all of the details comes and I say, tell me about your day today.
Mhm.
I'm going to get all the detail. I'm going to get all the information that I need to understand the complexity and the beauty that is Tasha.
Mm. I
Right?
like
this is so it's about getting into the language and the communication, forgetting about the why. It's the tell me more. It's the getting the information that can move you forward. All right. Now, tip number 3. I really enjoyed this book. If I was, and I hate to say this,
You
I
enjoyed the book?
huh?
You enjoyed the book?
Okay, so maybe I didn't enjoy the book. I really did enjoy the podcast.
Oh, okay. Just checking to see if you had read a book that you didn't tell me about.
I don't know why you got to say it like that. Although I did finish a book last week, Amy Poehler's Yes Please, which I thought was very good. Anyway, it's a side note, as I am illiterate out here. Thank you. Tip
And a sports
3.
aficionado. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I am a sports aficionado. All right, so the third thing, what's the problem you want to solve? Right? So she gives the example that people say, they go in and say, I want to make 20% more.
Yeah.
And so it's about digging deeper and saying, well, what is it actually that you're after? Is it after that you want more respect? And do you feel like getting more money gets you more respect? Is it that you want a way to the C suite and you believe that going higher up the financial chain gets you into the C suite? What is it? And both the intangible and the tangible things, right? And so is it, some people will say, well, I want to have financial freedom. Well, what's financial freedom to you and what financial freedom to me could be very things. So it's really about getting to the basis of what it is you want, right? So can you think of a time where there's a problem, or is that how you negotiate? You think about the problem that you want to solve for.
I mean, I hate to keep coming back to this example at work, but like, listen, that is a major part of my life, right? I spend a lot of time there. And the problem that I was trying to solve is if I'm spending so much time here, right? Because I'd rather be spending time with AQ Partners and building that business. But if I'm spending time here, I want my time to be impactful.
Yeah.
And so that was the problem that I was trying to solve. I'm not motivated by money. I like money a lot,
I'm about to say.
but that's not my motivation, right?
Yeah,
And I could have been like, oh, I want to make more money. And there was a path. There is a path for that, right? But that's not what I want because it comes along with other things, right? More money,
absolutely.
more problems, right? Um, and I wanted to be more impactful. That was the problem that I was trying to solve and what led me into my negotiations at work.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what but you have to get clear, and it has to be tangible, the tangible and the intangible, and you got to keep asking yourself, what is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for financial security? If you are, what's that financial security? Are you looking for respect? Right? Because that then changes the conversation you're having.
Correct.
If in fact what it is you're looking for is respect, it's not necessarily about making 20% more, right? And again, this we're using business as an example, but it doesn't matter what area of life that you're in or what area of life you're trying to pertain this to. It's about really knowing what it is you're going after.
Do you have a personal example? A problem you were trying to solve?
That I was trying in a negotiation. I don't think I'm the best at negotiating. That's the issue. So all of this was very good for me, right?
Very good for you.
It was all very good for me. I am good at uh managing sort of communication and outcomes, which I guess is negotiation. When it comes to financial, like so for example, in one of my jobs, I had a career of always having great vacation packages with my jobs, right? And so for me to have done maybe 6 weeks of vacation in a year was not, unheard of for me.
Right.
It was fairly, and so when I moved and I changed positions and I changed fairly quickly, it never even dawned on me to ask about vacation because I thought everyone had great vacation. Why would I ever ask about the vacation? I got to the new spot and they were like, oh, we just have, was it 2 weeks? I was like,
2 weeks all year?
What third world country have I come to?
And so what did you do? Were you able to practice your
No. And
negotiations?
and you know what my boss said? You should have negotiated better.
Mm,
You got me there, buddy. You got me there.
very true.
But, give me enough time. I figure it out.
And that is a lesson learned in moving to new jobs in general, because a lot of times people are looking at that bottom line dollar.
Right.
It ain't always about the dollar,
It
man. You
ain't
want
about
that
the dollar.
vacation package, right? Do you want the bonuses? And I'm taking finance right now, right? Do you
Right.
want the money now, or do you want a bonus at Christmas time? Well, give me mine now, because I'm not sure if the solvency of this business is going to be such that I get that bonus at
Wait a
Christmas
minute.
time.
Did
Don't
you
promise
say,
me.
did you just say the solvency of this business? Oh, you are so in class right now. Let me just say this, because the regular of us don't say that. Okay. You clearly just had a test. Clearly you just had a test.
Hey, Miss Nan. Miss Nan,
And
Dr. Dan knows what I'm talking about, right?
yes, yes. Uh-huh. And that professor try to study for it. Right. I mean, and so again, back to the point, it doesn't matter what area of life you're using this in, it's what is the problem that you're trying to solve for.
Right.
And really starting with yourself, because all negotiations start with yourself, because it's the problem where you're trying to get to. All right. Tip number 4. Ooh, that was not right. That tip number 4 didn't quite work out right. But
It was turn the no into yes, right?
how to turn the no into yes. This is what I get for doing stuff at the last minute and it didn't quite work out. This right. Okay. How you turn a no into a yes. And you do that by using 4 words. Tell me your concerns.
Mm.
I really thought that was powerful because one, that takes all of the energy out of it, right? If people are getting a little hype, like, oh, you told me no, and you're on the defensive and you're like, and why this and why that, and you can see how things can escalate and escalate and escalate. But if you stop and say, well, tell me your concerns,
Yeah.
because it doesn't have to be personal. Don't make it personal. And then again, you're opening up the keys to the kingdom, and then they tell you everything you need to know to get to common ground. Okay. And the reality is, it doesn't matter how great you are, someone's always got a concern about something. There's just no other way to put it. There's always and it's better to know what it is, and it doesn't have to be personal. And if a person feels a safe space, okay, well, I can tell you because you've asked me, and I can tell you really what I'm kind of hesitating on. And, then it's like what did Oprah say? At the end of the day, everyone just wants to be heard.
And listen, after you're heard, the answer still may be no. And I think that, as adults, we have to come to grips with that and learn how to accept the no. But in this, tip 4, trying to turn the no into a yes,
Yeah.
I think it helps ease the pain of the no sometimes, right?
Yeah, but I think also you're more inclined, you have everything you need to turn it into a yes, right? If a yes is absolutely, I mean, listen, if a person just says, I think you do, like, because I'm just thinking, like, worst case scenario, someone says, you're a black person, I don't want to do business with a black person. You say, okay, I'm gonna get a white person to be my front. Yeah. What do you prefer, blonde or brunette? I got friends. I mean, depending on how bad I want it, that's where a negotiation comes in. Listen, hands down, I've already said, right? You've seen the news, and this is just somewhat tangential. Is that like if a person who's coming to evaluate your house to do an estimate on your house, they're more inclined to give a higher number, a higher valuation of your house if the person is white answering the door. Please believe when I go to get my house, what is the word? You're in finance.
Appraised.
Appraised. Thank you, because you're in school. Getting us an education out here. Trust and believe. When the appraiser comes, It's gonna be a white woman answering my door.
Are you you gonna take the pictures off the wall.
I'm gonna take all them pictures. If it means that my house can get 20, 30, $40,000, you daggone right.
Gotta play the game.
Gotta play the game. I mean, but that's a negotiation,
Right.
right? I want the highest value.
And
I already know what's part of the challenge. My skin
right,
color. All right.
this is something that I think, we've been drawn to in general, negotiations.
Yep.
His masterclass and what's our guy's name? The Art of Negotiation.
Part of negotiation.
And what he said was just practice it in everyday life. The things that are super simple.
Yeah,
And that way, when it's time for the big negotiation, you're ready.
absolutely. I think I'm gonna go back and watch Chris Voss. Chris
Chris,
Voss
so
was the
good.
that one. I couldn't remember appraisal, but I can remember Chris Voss.
The Art of Negotiation.
We are gonna go. All right, so let's just go to tips really quick again. So one, negotiation is a conversation. You might as well be a part of it if it's going to impact your life.
Correct.
Number two, forget about the why. Asking people why all the time doesn't make anyone feel good. Puts them on a defensive. Even if you say to yourself, "Why did I eat that? Why did I do that? Why did?" No one feels good when being asked for why. When they're
Tell
asked
me
why.
more.
Tell me more is what you want to say. Tip three, what's the problem you want to solve? Right? Just don't go blanket. Get really personal and spend some time with yourself. Ask yourself some really hard questions. What is it you're trying to achieve, both tangibly and intangibly?
That's really for us understanding your why.
Understanding your why. Understanding your why. There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. Understanding the why. And tip four, how to turn a no into a yes. Tasha? Okay. Tell me your concerns.
Tell me your concerns.
Tell me your concerns.
Tell me more. Tell me your concerns. I'm a work in progress. Now, has this helped you reduce your fear around asking for more?
Yes,
Okay.
it has. Because I can see how it's giving me the power to take the negative energy out of it, right? Because I don't often, when I have a natural reaction, if someone comes at me with, I really have to be prepared not to meet them with that same energy, right? And so, so we can listen, I'm an Aries, and you try me, I'm gonna give it to you back. So it allows me to be thinking 10 steps ahead or 5 steps ahead to say, okay, well, tell me more. All right, well, tell me more. Right. And that kind of puts me, I feel, more in a powerful position, a position of leverage.
All right.
And
I
I
like
like,
it. These tips were good. I'm going to try this in my everyday life in the small negotiations that I have to have.
yeah, well, you got some real negotiators out there in the other room, a
I
5-year-old
do.
and a 4-year-old. See, yeah, tell me more. Go ahead. I love it. All right. So if you want to follow us, we are AQ Partners. Please check us out on Facebook at AQ Partners, on Instagram, AQ_partners, and on our website, theaqpartners.com.
Whoop, whoop.
Right. And again, don't be afraid to handle the truth for real. This is just terrible. This is just not the night. And then we take our class, go to change the game, right? It's our class that you can take at your own speed, at your own time, very manageable. It's Tasha and I being your accountability partners, and you can go to bit.ly/AQ class. Thank you, everybody. Bye, Tasha.
Night.
Good night.